John Harbaugh is the new head coach of the New York Football Giants. And I'm just going to get this out of the way because it's what could be used against me later. So let me make sure you guys all see and remember this. John Harbaugh is an interesting hire because he's not a play caller, so he's not going to elevate the team that way with his incredible ability to dismantle a defense, and the same for the defensive side of the ball. He's really got to be that big motivating factor, and he's got to be really the head decision maker. That's kind of what the head coach is for a lot of teams, right? And is that really John Harbaugh's game? He has at least 18 double-digit second-half blown leads into losses, which is the most since 1991. It was the most when it was 17 and 16. Nobody's really even close. Ravens fans were really excited to get John Harbaugh fired and get a new fresh face in there. And now he's the Giants, and we got to get all excited for it. I think it does raise the floor of the Giants, though. Here's why I am moderately excited for John Harbaugh. Because I'm so sick of the Giants winning 2, 3, 4. If we're lucky, 5 games a year. Oh my God, what a season. 5 wins. Can you even imagine? I'm sick of that. If John Harbaugh can raise the floor of the Giants and then turn them into an 8, 9, 10 win team, sign me up. I'm sick of seeing the Giants season be over before it starts every single year. For the past decade, they've been the worst team in the league. It's the Giants and the Jets in the same stadium battling for most useless team. And the Giants are competing, trying to win the toilet bowl every year, but still win enough games at the end of the year to never be picking at 1 or 2 in the draft, meaning they can't either take the best player in the draft or trade down for a haul for a team looking to trade up and then use those picks to better the team and fill all these holes. Anyway, what are we doing? Oh yeah, John Harbaugh rebuild here with the Giants. I think he raises the floor. I'm excited for that. I just need to see some more wins. And I think John Harbaugh helps you get there. He has a competitive team every year. Obviously, Lamar Jackson has helped that in recent years. And Eric DeCosta and Ozzie Newsome has helped, bring in great talent for him and his coaching staff to be able to coach. But, I'm excited with Todd Monken coming in to be the offensive coordinator. I think that's a pretty good fit with Jackson Dart. We'll talk about this roster a little bit here in a moment, but we've got to create John Harbaugh because we can't make him get fired from the Ravens. I just think they're a little bit more fun because you don't know what you're going to get. There's more variety. And if you do join in to week 16, you'll get the same draft class. So maybe not going to use this multiple times, but this is the real life, the deepest we can spawn in the year. And in real life, you're going to have options between, any of the Ohio State guys, really. Carnell Tate, Arvell Reese, potentially, Sonny Styles, and then Spencer Fano, maybe, Francis Maui-Noah, Jordan Tyson. Those are some options for the Giants at 5. I think one of those players the Giants will end up taking. Have to see if anything changes, of course, but that's my current theory. The draft classes that you can download on the game just are not good enough. Maybe they get better as we get closer to draft season, and maybe I'll start using them. But it's just too time-consuming for me to create my own class the way I used to. So I know you guys like downloading those, but it's just a lot of upkeep. Just don't have the same time that I did at that time. This is the team. The Giants actually have a very overrated offensive line from what I'm hearing from a lot of other Giants fans. This is really not a very good unit. Andrew Thomas is about the best left tackle in the league, and Jermaine Illuminor is a good pass protector. The interior is really not very good. Illuminor is fine. It's just based on what we've seen at right tackle for the Giants over the years, he looks like an all-pro because the alternative has been absolutely terrible. I hope Marcus Bowe can develop, but he's probably going to be a guard long-term. I don't know that he's going to end up playing on the outside. I don't know that he's ready to. I don't know that the Giants want him to do that. But the interior is just bad. I mean, John Michael Schmitz looked a little bit better down the stretch, but the bar was in the basement. He was so bad. Greg Van Roten is really a backup. Evan Neal is, one of the most clear busts in the history of the league, unfortunately. And then John Runyon was like the Giants' big signing to fix the interior offensive line, and he's just not all that good. This is the best O-line the Giants have had in years, but they've had about the worst O-line in the league every single year. This is really not that great of a group. And when Andrew Thomas is going to miss anywhere from a few to several games a year, it gets worse without him. Don't even look at me, Josh Azudu. Playmakers, when healthy, are great, though. Malik Neighbors, hopefully he comes back and is a star again. Cam Skattebo looked awesome. I know a lot of people have been asking for it. I don't think the Cam Skattebo collab is on the way. I did what I could. I just don't think it's happening. So I appreciate everyone asking, but it looks unlikely. Jackson Dart flashed a ton as a rookie. Is he going to play great for the rest of his career if he keeps taking linebackers head on? I don't know, but I like the potential. I actually think the speed and throw power are too low here. That's crazy, but I like the idea of Dart for the future. I wasn't super high on him as a prospect. I was overjoyed that he came in and was that spark, and he looks like he could at least be a serviceable starter, if not even better than that for the future. So I'm really encouraged by what I've seen from Jackson Dart. And then the defense has some superstar level players. Didn't really see it this year from Dexter Lawrence battling injuries, but I'd like to think he's still one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league. Bobby Okereke should not be an 84 overall anymore. Wow. These ratings are interesting. But, man, what a career he's had. I don't know that he's going to be the starting inside linebacker for the Giants next season. Abdul Carter, highly disrespected as a rookie because the pressured numbers were great, but the sack production wasn't there. So casual fans think this was a bust. And then finally comes down the stretch, starts finishing some plays and be like, oh, I guess he might be good. Oh, really? Wow, I'm surprised by that. It's like, did you not actually watch him the entire year? Well, I watched the box score. I saw the stats, and he didn't have any sacks. How am I supposed to know if he's playing well? That's why Brian Burns is the best defender in the league. I like that. Brian Burns, I mean, a lot of cleanup sacks this year, but I think he mostly played well. I really am a huge fan of him. Obviously, been a big Brian Burns fan for a while. And I'm excited with the way this team looks. Just linebacker needs a big upgrade. Corner is awful. God, Deonte Banks, I don't think has ever seen the ball in the air. Drew Phillips sees the ball in the air and then holds onto the receiver for dear life before it gets there. Paulson Adebo did not really have a great season. He was banged up. And then Cordell Flott might actually be the best corner on this team, and that's not a great sign. And he's a free agent. Anyway, I've talked a lot. Micah McFadden being healthy would change things a little bit maybe. But this run defense was the worst in the league. Absolutely terrible. Safeties need to be better. I don't know that Tyler Nubin is a great player. It's a team that could use some help, for sure. I'm going to say it, like, listen. I like some of the players on this team. I think there's some talent. I don't want to disparage the entire roster. But, hey, there's a reason why this team ended up winning 4 games. And it's not because the roster was amazing and something didn't click. They've got talent. They need to fill some of these holes with better players. And hopefully now a better coaching staff under John Harbaugh. Well, in this season, the Rams win the Super Bowl. Stafford wins NFL MVP. Christian McCaffrey wins Offensive Player of the Year. Like, these things are, I mean, most probably going to happen, actually. Like, Tedero McMillan probably wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Carson Schwarzenegger, I think, definitely wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Myles Garrett definitely wins Defensive Player of the Year. This is using mostly real-life stats, though, so this stuff makes sense. My Offensive Player of the Year, give it to Bijan Robinson. Will it go to Bijan? Probably goes to Puka or JSN, right? One of those two, I guess. Think JSN's the big-time favorite. Liam Cohen could very easily win Coach of the Year. I think I would actually give it to Mike Vrabel. I think the Patriots really did not have very much to work with, and they've been incredible. So he would be my pick. Mike McDonald also in the conversation. I think those would be the top 3 unless I'm forgetting somebody. Ben Johnson also in the conversation. Nate Landman wins Super Bowl MVP. In real life, the Bills have been knocked out as I record this. Kevin Zeitler, Cam Hayward retire, which makes sense. Let's take a look at the mock draft because John Beeson, Giant legend. This one's a quarterback. We actually have the 3rd pick. It finished Raiders, Titans, Giants, Saints, Bengals. Where are the Jets? 9? Well, I didn't expect that to happen, but that's how it is. And the Giants are expected to get an Ohio State player, Sergio Moreno. Not a real player and not a position the Giants need. I would be blown away if they drafted a true edge rusher in real life. Could they end up with Bane and wanting him to play 3 tech or 5 tech? Yeah, that's a possibility, I suppose. Although I don't think it's very likely. It's a possibility, but yeah, probably not going to be looking to add an edge rusher. In terms of just pure positions, the Giants need safety, corner, linebacker, interior defensive line. You can make an argument for tight end. Every interior offensive line spot, left guard, center, right tackle, with Illuminor being a free agent, and wide receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson is a free agent, does not want to return, and really, I don't think the Giants should be giving Wan'Dale Robinson what he wants. I like him as a player. I really do. He's tough. He catches the football. He really was pretty awesome for the Giants, especially this year. Put up 1,000 yards receiving, I believe. These are, of course, the final 3 games were simulated, so not going to be the exact numbers he finished with, but I think he did get over 1,000 yards. He was a great player, but he's slot exclusive. He's going to be one of the top free agent receivers probably. It's not sure it makes sense, and I don't really know that I want to bring back Cordell Flott either, although he's a lot cheaper and probably should just keep him around. He wants to play for a Super Bowl. I got some bad news for you, buddy. Maybe not here, but he does re-sign, and Cordell Flott is back. I will not be picking up the 5th-year option on Deonte Banks. I'd like to keep Micah McFadden, and I probably will look to trade Bobby Okereke, as McFadden's going to test free agency, and I'm not going to franchise tag him, so he's just gone. Evan Neal, gone. Finally. Dane Belton, gone. Daniel Bellinger, gone. And I thought he was going to end up being a solid player. It just didn't end up happening. Jermaine Illuminor is a solid option for 1 year. I'd like to bring him back for 1 year. It's going to be $13 million, and he's going to test free agency. And I'm not going to hit him with a franchise tag for $26 million, which means Jermaine Illuminor is gone. And this is the reality of what could happen to the Giants this free agency. Like, you can't just count on Jermaine Illuminor coming back. I think it is maybe more likely than not that he will be back, but that might be 55-45 for the odds, perceived odds. I don't know. He could get a ton of money from somebody that's looking to really take a shot on a tackle. Look at what happened with the Titans and Dan Moore, or the Chiefs and Jalen Moore. But I don't know that we're going to be signing anybody in free agency. Nobody wants to be a Giant right now because we haven't really shown them anything. Hassan Reddick, I mean, the options are just poor. Darius Washington, I could very easily see being a Giant, though. Familiarity with John Harbaugh. He's a solid player that can play safety or maybe even the nickel for the Giants. He's not very expensive. Let's get Darius Washington and see if we can bring him in. Speaking of former Ravens, another potential likelihood, Isaiah Likely. I could see him being a Giant as well. And he's not incredibly expensive, as my friend Wheels logs in, Ravens fan himself. He was excited to see John Harbaugh gone. Let me get Isaiah Likely a contract offer and hopefully steal him away from the Commanders in the division. But that would be a nice upgrade for us. Washington would be good depth. I'd probably look to still upgrade him. And we get Darius Washington. We do not get Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely is a Commander. Yes. I saw Khalil Mack in there. Some of you will remember that Khalil Mack is one of my favorite players. And in all of my rebuilds, I used to go out and try to trade for Khalil Mack back in like Madden 15, Madden 16, Madden 17, Madden 18, the sack attack from the silver and black Khalil Mack. Huge fan. Just doesn't really make sense for us right now. I'd love to make it happen. It's just not going to. Project Pat could be cool. Just bring me every former Raven that's worth anything in free agency, but we're probably going to be done, and we're going to look to make something happen in the draft. Wan'Dale Robinson heads out to Seattle. Receiver is absolutely something I could consider. I need to actually take a look at this draft class and see who's going to be a potential option for us. We know we can completely avoid quarterback. Thankfully, our scout was scouting QB. That's great for us. Running back is a potential need. It actually is. But I'm probably just going to prefer Cam Skattebo over the alternatives, and I really like Tyrone Tracy. But could the Giants shock the world and go Jeremiah Love? Maybe they could. I don't think that's super likely, but I'm not going to say it's an impossibility. Ooh, who are you? Mario Torres from the U. Oh my goodness. Is this Andre Johnson? Insane route runner, 6'2", 220. That kind of sounds like an Andre Johnson build. Can catch, very good route runner. Like, I guess I used to love Andre Johnson. Let's see what his measurements are. I would guess 6'3", 220, 220-ish. Listed at 6'3", 229. That's like older Andre Johnson. I don't remember him having a ton of great burst at the end. This guy ran a 4.5. Man, Andre Johnson was such a stud. The only reason I make that comparison is because it's a Miami receiver with a similar build and what you'd expect to be similar attributes. The only thing is Andre Johnson, at least earlier in his career, was a better athlete than what I'm seeing here. But wide receiver is a need for the Giants. They need an actual big upgrade because Darius Slayton is not a wide receiver too. We just lost Wan'Dale Robinson. Jalen Hyatt is obviously not that guy. I'm thinking Mario Torres is a surefire top 5 talent. You just don't see the combination of catching and route running. You just don't see it. And I hardly ever see actual, really good wide receivers in Madden 26. That is one of them. And if you guys load up a Week 16 draft class, you can probably get that same player. And, Brandon Wilder also looks like a sick tight end. Poor acceleration, though. Any Iowa tight end? There is one. That is like a, not generational, but elite tight end build. I hate that they're tied so heavily to the school and position, but Iowa tight end in Madden 26 just is really good. And you can see it matches the attributes. So we'll take a look at everything. Tight end is a position I would like to upgrade. We might be able to find somebody that can help us out a lot. Brett Kaiser from Michigan also looks very good. And we could find just a good pass protecting center down the board anyway. This team's about to get a lot better very quickly, although tackle's not great, and that is a need. If we find any good pass protecting tackle down the board, a lot of round 1 guys. But these guys might be okay. And we also know, because it's Madden 26, that the nose tackle archetype at defensive tackle will just be very good down the board for us. DeMar Price looks fantastic. If we don't draft him, I don't know, something went terribly wrong. And the corners look great. This is one of these draft classes where I wish I had 3 or 4 first-round picks. And hey, the Giants actually could have potentially gotten in position to do that had they done what they should have done and lost out. Because you were already the first team eliminated from playoff contention. I know you don't want to go out there and root for your team to lose. But I'm just saying it would have been better if they did. They also need kicker. Although, you know what? To be fair, maybe they found one down the stretch. Shocking that the guy that kicked at Pitt in those conditions in college is a capable kicker in the NFL. Who would have guessed? And you know what? While we're here, let me waste no more time. Let's go find this massive cap casualty. I'm cutting Graham Gano. Listen, he's been a very good kicker when he's on the field. He's hurt way too often. Stop being hurt so much. I guess he's older. I don't know, dude. It's Graham Gano's got to go. Ben Sauls is the future. I know I've been talking a ton, and you haven't actually seen a whole lot of anything to this point. I've turned this rebuild into a podcast for my Giants' unfortunate fandom over the past decade. It hasn't been all bad, though. If you go back a little bit farther or further, of course, saw the Giants win multiple Super Bowls. That was pretty cool. Mario Torres showed up overweight to the combine, and yet I really don't care.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
So we are at number 3 in the draft. I'm not trading up to 1. If the Raiders want to go Torres at 1, they can have him. Oh, I thought they were going to take a quarterback, but no, it's an edge rusher. Preston Donaldson, and that puts the Titans on the clock at number 2. Should I trade up for Mario Torres? We are moving up 1 spot in order to do so. We need wide receiver. I'd like to trade Darius Slayton. He is maybe even more likely to be cut in real life. This could be a perfect match made in heaven. Darius Slayton for number 2. That's a good decision. But what if I gave you number 3? The Giants have no third-round pick because of the Jackson Dart trade. And I'll tell you what, you can also have Darius Slayton, Bobby Okereke, 2 5s, and a 6. It costs that much to move up one spot here for not a quarterback. In real life, yeah, it would take a decent bit, and the players would be unlikely to be involved. But we are drafting Mario Torres, 6'2", 220, 21 years old, out of Miami. The key ratings are incredible. I wish the athleticism was a bit better. That being said, did I mention his attributes? They look amazing. And he would be a really nice wide receiver, too. Future wide receiver 1, even over Malik Neighbors. Welcome to the New York Giants, what appears to be one of the better receiving prospects I have seen in Madden 26. Hopefully, he is that guy. Ranked number 3. We got him at number 2. Didn't drop a pass at the combine. Well, apparently he didn't have a good combine. He showed up overweight, but doesn't seem to be too much of an issue. Strong hands to make catches through contact. Comes down with the toughest catches. Hidden development. 88 speed is a little bit concerning, but I don't think that's going to matter very much in sim. 91 acceleration, 85 change of direction. The athletic ratings are a little bit disappointing. Like, the athleticism isn't great, but the everything else looks amazing. So I'm hoping that was indeed the correct decision as the Titans go Sergio Moreno at 3, somebody they may have drafted at 2 anyway. I just didn't want to take the risk as the Saints are done with Tyler Shuck. Jonathan Beeson will be their new quarterback. I could consider a trade up again. A bunch of tackles. We're just not really going to be drafting here. I like the corners. I do. It's just, are they going to make it to round 2? I don't think so. But when are they expected to go? Man, Karifi Ford looks really good. LaRon Campbell looks good too. I'm sure Zeke Bailey's very good, and he's 6'4" with elite acceleration. Probably can't trade up a ton, but if we get these guys to stick on the board for a little while, the mid to late 20s is an option as the Cardinals go Carrie Fisher. Isn't that a Star Wars actress? I think so. Never seen it, as I mentioned in a recent video, or what will be a video at some point, if it isn't out yet. Dolphins go with Karifi Ford at 11. Definitely like that option. Roderick Little. I mean, this is the run-on corner. There goes LaRon Campbell at 14. We just were not going to be able to trade that far up. I was hoping these tackles would fly off the board. It just isn't happening, which means corner not really going to be an option for us here. I mean, they're just flying off the board. I mean, every corner just went. Robert Woods. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names here. That's the Kelsey replacement, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're just going to simulate to our pick. A trade-up isn't happening. Thankfully, it is a pick that's fairly high. Number 35 in the draft. Who can help us out here? Well, we're very unlikely to take a receiver. Is that center still on the board? The one who just got drafted ahead of us. I guess the centers are gone. Could we just go with a tackle here? A pass protector with B run block is not awful. I've basically got to make a decision here between Thaddeus Corbett, who looks to be a pretty good linebacker, very athletic, or one of the tackles. And I hate to do this to Jackson Dart, but there are some tackles I like down the board. I don't think we're finding this athleticism later. Ran a 4.46 at his pro day, elite jumping, great everything else, great in coverage. Block shedding might be a bit low, but pursuit, tackle, zone coverage, all of that looks good. Thaddeus Corbett would not be available later. So we're pulling the trigger here maybe a little bit early, but we're getting our guy at 35, ranked at 45. Hidden Dev, 88 speed, 89 acceleration, 88 agility. I just see A awareness, A man, A tackle, A zone, A pursuit. Yeah, the hit power and block shed might not be amazing, but with trading away Bobby Okereke, who could have been like a cut candidate anyway, and trading away or cutting or letting Micah McFadden go in free agency, like the options were going to be limited. We had to just get who was there. And now we can pretty much draft exclusively from our favorites list. We have some day 3 picks. It's just who is going to go off the board first? Who do we need to make a priority? That's going to be the question. So Pat Sims we have on the board, nearly 360. I think there are some other defensive tackles I would prefer. So Pat Sims is not going to be the guy. Another familiar name. Russell Clements is a pass protecting center that may end up being our guy. and may not be available later. We know we want to upgrade the offensive line. I think this is going to be the first step in order to do so. A, awareness, A, impact block, A, pass block. Great acceleration, solid strength and speed. This is our guy. He's ranked in the top 50. We got him at 99. Quick feet and strong hands in pass pro. Stands ground when dealing with power moves. Quick hands and feet pose problems for speed rushers. He's got hidden dev. Can he come in and start at center right away? Yeah, I think that's absolutely a possibility. Round 5. 1 5th-round pick, and then we have 2 6s? Maybe only the 1. A lot of defensive tackles still available. Could go with another center who looks very, very similar to the center we just grabbed. So may not do that. Again, we got to look at who could potentially get drafted in the near future. William Avalos, speed rush type. Honestly, those guys typically are not very good. And there's a better defensive tackle down the board that we like. Do we just go with DeMar Price? A, finesse moves, B, tackle, C, block shed as a nose tackle. Very athletic. We could double dip on defensive tackle, but I think that's probably going to end up being our selection here. Also, Cody Hanks looked at because he had A, play rec, and A, hit power. But he stinks. So, DeMar Price is our guy. Hey, Georgia defensive tackle, not a bad shout. 6'1", 288. Interesting, he's got the nose tackle archetype. Don't really see a lot of sub 290-pound nose tackles, but this is our guy. He's a top 100 player. We got him at 131. Well-planned rush approach with arsenal of finesse moves. Plays with good football IQ and recognition, but apparently must become stronger in the NFL. He's got hidden dev, 86 strength, 77 speed, 85 acceleration. That's going to be a pretty good fit next to Dexter Lawrence immediately. A, finesse moves, A, play rec, B, awareness, C, block shed, B, tackle. It'll be a pretty good fit next to Sexy Dexy tomorrow. I mean, definitely want to come back to the board to draft Rafael Gonzalez or even Matt Morey, did it say his name was? William Avalos we have on the board. Yeah, Matt Morey. I don't have him favorited, but he actually looks pretty good. But I think Rafael Gonzalez just looks better. So we might trade back up. We're in the 6th round now, and this is where we're absolutely going to take one of these tackles because we need somebody to play tackle. We have 30 seconds to make a decision. Who's better? I mean, these guys both have A, awareness. They're the next tackles off the board. And I don't know. I think 6'8", Darren Cooper. No. We're going to go Charles Hartman down to the buzzer out of Michigan. This is our guy. He's ranked at 222. We took him at 163. Here's the deal, though. He's going to be good in pass protection. That's really all that matters to me right now. Devin Singletary is a Seahawk. They were looking for a running back. Well, we have acquired their 6th and 7th round draft picks, and I like that because we get, more chances here. We could potentially trade even more, and hopefully we end up finding some good value here. And I maybe don't rush this pick as bad. But here's the thing. These tackles straight up just can't run block. They can't do it. And they're all not strong at all. But we're going to go with Quan Perkins here. Quan will be our selection. He's ranked at 183. Very similar to the last tackle prospect. He also has normal development. But hopefully he's going to be good enough in pass pro to where we can either develop him or spot start him and be okay. And we'll see how we end this draft. We've got one more selection. And any favorites on the board? Just the one. The other defensive tackle I liked has been drafted, which means we were going to take yet another tackle with this pick. He's ranked at 244, got him at 217. He does have hidden dev, though. So we finally have maybe hit on one. Avalos went at 202. Rafael Gonzalez at 200. Have to see how good those guys are. We just drafted 3 tackles on day 3, and maybe one of them is intriguing because of the dev trait. Outside of that, maybe not great. And they all have mid to high 60s overall. 71 for DeMar Price, 74 for Russell Clements. That's good enough to start right now at center. Thaddeus Corbett's a 74, like that. And then Mario Torres is an 80. Again, speed's not great, but he can catch. He's a very good route runner. He's got a good release package, 86 release. I'm pretty happy with the draft class overall. Thought we did okay. Didn't go too crazy, just got good players. As the Chiefs have definitely replaced Travis Kelce. Todd Fowler was very good. Thought we had him on our board. They were just really good players in this class. Like, the corners were all really solid. We just were never going to have a chance to get those guys. Matt Morey was a 74 overall. There was actually a corner down the board that was pretty good too. Let's see round 7. Gonzalez was a 72. Also pretty good guard in there. And then, who was the other one? We sort by pick here. It was William Avalos, 63. Yeah, he didn't end up being that good. But Rafael Gonzalez, definitely somebody we missed out on. He looks pretty solid overall. But I'm happy with our draft. I really can't complain. See, the problem with Darius Alexander in Madden, as opposed to real life, well, here in his second year, he's already 26 years old, which in Madden means he's got like 2 more years of possible development. That's pretty tough. So what is his actual ceiling? Well, if you do training camp and you crush it and you have the camp counselor abilities, well, he might be able to get into the mid-80s, but he would have to win like Defensive Player of the Year, would have had to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, put up 10 sacks or something like that to get the amount of XP needed to actually be a good player. Yet in real life, it's possible that a defensive tackle doesn't peak until he's like 30, right? And then they could still be good for a number of years after that. It's going to be tough to develop a player like Darius Alexander. So it's like, why even draft the 25-year-old rookie? Where in real life, there's actually maybe more of a ceiling there. Thaddeus Corbett will be our pick at linebacker, obviously, because he's got pretty good potential. Already a decently high overall, and obviously very athletic, which gives him that really, really high ceiling. And we traded Okereke, as you know. We were not able to retain Micah McFadden. Linebacker is actually arguably weaker than when we got this team. Although, I mean, McFadden, losing him was just something that happened. I guess everything's something that happened, but it just is what it is, right? It was kind of a coin toss about whether we were going to be able to keep him or not, and it didn't end up happening. And then Okereke, it's not really worth that contract for me at this point. He is getting worse every year. He's at that point of regression. And again, in real life, you can point to the tackles all you want. I think what the casual fan doesn't really understand about the tackle stat, and really any stat in football. The box score is a really bad place to find out about how well a player played. In baseball, it's a lot easier. In basketball, I'm sure it's a lot easier. Football is not one of those sports. Really, you got to watch the film and know what you're looking for, because a tackle is not created equal. A tackle near or behind the line of scrimmage, well, that's a really valuable play. A tackle that occurs 7 or 8 yards down the field because either you are not quick enough to hit the hole and make the tackle at the earliest opportunity, or you're allowing a catch and then making the tackle. It's like the tackle itself doesn't really mean much. Yeah, you got to be able to make them, but it's about where you're making those tackles. Are you making tackles that force punts, or are you making tackles that set up second or third and short and an opportunity to move the chains? Are you not making those plays on third down? So just looking at pure tackle numbers, that doesn't make a player good. What year is that we can't learn to evaluate a player or position a little bit more deeply than that? So all that to say, and I liked Okereke. He was good when he got to the Giants. He was the linebacker that the Giants haven't had in a while. Really, the best linebacker play the Giants have had between Antonio Pierce and Bobby Okereke prior to about this year was John Beeson, who we actually just talked about, for like a few games when the Giants got him from Carolina, or maybe even like off the street at that point. And then, of course, he got hurt because that's just what happens. And that was, super unfortunate. But the Giants really, the linebacker placement's so bad. That's why maybe Sonny Styles at 5 could be a great option as really the only player that's really worth using in training camp here is Javon Holland. Another player I was excited the Giants got because I really liked him in college and obviously has been quite successful at times in the NFL. Although his final year in Miami was not incredible. He's really the only one with an age and an overall that really makes sense to develop. We need to upgrade cornerback desperately. I wish, safety overall was a bit better. I think our Darius Washington is a decent addition here for us, but not really going to be a world beater. So if we're going to use anybody, it might as well be Javon Holland that's going to be a staple of this team. And we should be able to get gold pretty easily and move on. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but there's something so aesthetically pleasing about a lefty kicker. It just looks better. I don't know why. Simply no answer for why I think that. It really has nothing to do with Sebastian Janikowski. I think somebody might end up bringing him up because I said this. It really doesn't. I like Sebastian Janikowski. He was a fun player for a kicker, but I don't know. It just looks good. There's something about it. But Ben Saul's here. If we can make him even better in training camp, make him the actual answer here at kicker, that would be nice. What is this? That's the punt attempt, Jamie Gillen? What is happening, dude? It's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. What are we doing here? All right, that ruined the drill. That should be I win the drill. I get a touchdown in the coffin corner punting drill. Give me gold. I just got better than a punt. You know what's better than a punt? First of all, not a lot. Not a lot. In the world, not a lot better than a great punt. But a touchdown, surely, that's pretty good. I don't know. Okay, we got a dev trade upgrade for Jamie Gillen to superstar. So glad I spent half an hour doing training camp, as Von Miller does not make the Hall of Fame. Okay, I don't know about that one. I would guess that he does. But also in real life, it takes 5 years to decide that, so I don't know if everything in Madden's accurate. I hate to be the bearer of bad news there. Dude, I'm going to tell you, 67 overall receiving back for Cam Skattebo, that seems a little bit disrespectful. I get they can't come out and make this guy 99 overall. Did give him 95 trucking, though. But he catches the football fairly well for what you'd think of as a power back. And did so a lot at Arizona State and Sacramento State. If you want to go look up those highlights, they're ridiculous. +5 block shed for Brian Burns here. That'll work. Okay. We didn't talk about Kayvon Thibodeau at all, but he's had a very interesting Giants career because obviously was a super hyped up player. Super hyped up. And then really did not play that well as a rookie. Had a lot of sacks in year 2, but the production in terms of sack totals didn't exactly match how well he was actually playing. It was a lot of cleanups, not a lot of like pass rush wins. And then that kind of showed itself a bit more in 2024. Obviously injuries have played a factor. And I thought 2025, he was looking like his best self, to be honest. I know the final numbers don't look great, but again, this was a guy that ended up getting injured, going on IR. But I think he's a legitimately quite good player now. It's going to be really interesting to see what the Giants do with a fully healthy Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, and Brian Burns. Obviously wanted to get Carter in there, I guess, a little bit more slowly because he had a very interesting rookie year and needed a lot of time to adapt to the NFL, I guess, and showing up to meetings on time and all those things. But I think he's going to be playing off the edge a lot in 2026. So that makes me wonder, well, what's the plan going to be with Kayvon Thibodeau? Guess we're going to find out. So this will be the offense. We're going to start Hawkins at right tackle, move Bo over to right guard. I like the offense. Torres is revealed to have superstar development, already up to an 85 overall. Kind of looks like a better version of when we drafted him, shock, but the athleticism may end up holding him back a little bit. And then defensively, linebacker's a problem. Corbett star dev. Dexter Lawrence down from X Factor before the season even starts. And cornerback is kind of as it was. We need to upgrade defensive tackle. I guess Price is going to play over Chapman. And in real life, I think Kayvon Thibodeau's got some pretty good value. However, in the game, Thibodeau probably has more value as someone we trade. So that is a probable trade deadline move that we make. Hate to do it, but it just is going to end up making the most sense. Is there anybody in free agency? Okay, there are some linebackers. The Neiman brothers, a lot of guys who were okay a few years ago. Josie Jewell, Justin Strnad. I don't love the options. We're just going to be bad at linebacker. This is what the next draft class looks like. A lot of quarterbacks at the top. Not that we will really heavily consider one. We'll need to get the scouts in position, though. Strengths of the class: wide receiver, left tackle, left edge. Tackle is something we would consider. Wide receiver is potentially something I would consider. But really, it's linebacker, corner, interior defensive line are going to be some of the positions I want the most. But I find that the Mike linebackers are typically never all that good. It's disappointing how few good ones there are.
A new rookie class has joined the team. There are a lot of hopes for this group, and one player was drafted to make an
4-3 at the midseason mark, an improvement in the in the John Harbaugh era, and back-to-back wins. It's nice. The Giants have done that before the final 2 weeks of the season. Wide receiver, going to be the focus position, and even though we just drafted one in round 1, that doesn't mean we can't draft another one at some point. We have 11 players ready to negotiate extensions for. Thibodeau's looking for upwards of $12 million or even upwards of $13 million per year. It's just not going to happen. Now, there is significant interest from a lot of these players about returning to the Giants. The big market, very intriguing. John Runyon, I guess, is cheap, but he's cheap for a reason. He's going to be back ideally as depth. It's a 2-year extension. I do not want John Michael Schmitz. I mean, Alubi is starting. That's an interesting decision, but it's what's happening at the moment. And even though I like Kayvon Thibodeau, and Deonte Banks is a player on the team, I know that Thibodeau does not have the value to us that he's going to have to another team. And we're not going to pay him what he's looking for. So can we go out and add a pick or a player that makes sense? Jordan Burch is an interior defensive lineman I like. I'm a big Junior Colson guy, to be honest. Or at least really liked him as a prospect coming out of Michigan, but doesn't really look particularly enticing in the game. A lot of Texas legends in here. Andrew Makuba, Jaden Blue. And Drew Sanders is also intriguing. I mean, if we wanted to go out and get a linebacker, we could do it. And there's a lot of talk about the Broncos and of course, the Ravens here, about the Broncos needing linebacker in real life. Drew Sanders really hasn't had a chance. And he just keeps getting seriously injured. And we're probably not going to see him at all in 2025. And we really didn't see him at all in 2024, basically. And he was a rookie in 2023. It's how it happens. You know, it's unfortunate, but we're not going to claim him as a reclamation project. If we're going to trade Kayvon Thibodeau, I think it would probably be for picks. The Ravens were linked to him. There was a rumor about it, but they don't really have a pick that I'm all that interested in. The Cardinals will, however, give me a second-round pick for Kayvon Thibodeau. So Thibodeau is going back out west from LA, committed to Oregon, and now is working his way down to the Southwest, playing for the Arizona Cardinals. I also would like to trade Deonte Banks. Now, should anybody trade for him? There's not a lot of interest in that. Actually makes a lot of sense. But if the Lions were to give me a future 3, that would be incredible. And they have. That's robbery. That's actually one of the worst trades I've ever made. And I feel bad about it. I really just took full advantage of Detroit. And I don't know what I can do to make it up to the city. But I apologize, and I won't do it again. And we actually do end up making the playoffs. So the first year under John Harbaugh is an overwhelming success. 11 wins. And of course, an NFC South team makes the playoffs going below 500. What a year for Jackson Dart. 3,600 yards passing, 36 touchdowns to only 13 interceptions. Probably didn't run for very much, less than 300 yards, but 7 touchdowns. I'm curious what his yards per carry was as a rookie. I would bet it's significantly over 3.8, but I'm going to confirm that. 5.7. Yeah, they got to rework the way this works. Although Cam Skattebo, 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns, and he did it with only an 86 overall, playing up to a 91 now. That's intriguing because typically I feel like they have to be a 90 overall or higher to even simulate well. Is it ball carrier vision maybe? I mean, that it would make sense that would be a really important attribute for simulation. Malik Neighbors, look at you. 20 touchdowns. 1,069 yards receiving. Nice. Mario Torres with over 1,000 yards and over 100 catches, 5 touchdowns for the rookie. Then we have a return man with Gibson as our third receiver. So receivers in need. So Bo Collins had some catches as well. Thaddeus Corbett led the way with 114 tackles, 4 for loss, and 3 sacks as a rookie. Dexter Lawrence, 16 TFLs, had 7.5 sacks, but our defense was nice. 12 sacks for Burns, 11 for Abdul Carter. Not a whole lot of interceptions, but Javon Holland and Ardarius Washington both had 2. Our offense was top 5 in yards, and the defense was top 5 in yards. Is the team just good now? Well, the Giants' playbooks have actually been pretty good in Madden 26, so I'm not exactly insanely surprised to see this level of success. We'll see if it can carry us through the playoffs here. Not going to jump in the wild card. If the Panthers win, they win, and they will. And this is just flashbacks to my childhood. I remember the Giants playing the Panthers at least once, if not twice, in the playoffs in the mid to late 2000s, and I think the results are similar to what we just saw. Didn't like the Panthers very much growing up. Season recap has the Panthers beating the Bills 27-21. Joe Burrow wins MVP. No Giants in there, unfortunately. Bryce Young, Super Bowl MVP. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. Interesting. Harrison Smith and Danielle Hunter retire, and we are headed toward the offseason. We have a lot of money. We may have a player or 2 that we want to re-sign, but we traded Thibodeau. We traded Deonte Banks. I don't want Jalen Hyatt. We'll pick up the 5th-year option on Malik Neighbors. He's going to be really expensive one way or another. Don't want JMS. We're headed into free agency with a lot of money. We could be in a big position to make a splash here. Now, players with expiring contracts, Dexter Lawrence, Javon Holland, could get somewhat expensive next year, but we can still make a splash, and that's going to be my goal. And Jalen Carter is available. Rashee Rice as well. Rashee Rice and Jalen Carter have a little bit in common. They're both NFL players. I will say, though, Jalen Carter is worth spending money on. This would be a big splash. We'd steal him away from a division rival. I understand that it's easy-ish to draft defensive. It's easy to draft defensive tackle. Easy-ish is underselling it. But Carter is just too good to pass on. One of the premier disruptors in the league, and we get to potentially steal him away from Philadelphia. Give me Jalen Carter, please. We've got the top offer. I know it's not the biggest need on the team, but it is a need, and it would be a huge upgrade. Probably will try and draft a corner. The Sweat Bandit, Longhorn legend, DeMarvion Overshown, hook him. That could be a decent option, and that's probably going to be the option. Brian O'Neill would also be a really, really awesome player to sign. And on a 2-year deal, he's worth an extension that we might lose by signing him. Big upgrade at right tackle. I'm probably not going to offer a lot more than that. Cody Mock could be good. A little bit expensive for my taste, though. Cam Jurgens, I'm okay for now. We have a center that's good. I am looking for another interior offensive lineman. But if we go out and get Brian O'Neill, I could move the tackle Hawkins we just drafted inside. That could be a decent idea. Could also look to draft a receiver. But I think we're going after the one player we really should be going after here, which is Jalen Carter. We're going to find out if we get him. No. Carter, he'll be playing in East Rutherford, New Jersey, just for the crosstown rival Jets, if you want to call them a rival. Brian O'Neill to the Rams. Rashee Rice joins him. Elton Jenkins to Houston. John Franklin Myers joins him. Well, a swing and a miss, and then another swing and a miss, even though kind of didn't really give Brian O'Neill a huge deal. Not surprising he picked somebody else. Poona Ford, another Texas legend to potentially add. Probably not. We're going to pass. Okay, NFL draft. There are some good players. This is the mock draft, of course. And there is a player I particularly want to trade up for. It's Trey Rainey. Hook'em Horns, Texas DBU, of course. He looks great. He's exactly what we need. We've got to find a way to get him. Elite speed, elite acceleration, elite change of direction, A press, A tackle even, B zone, B hit power, A catching, A man. I mean, the guy is a monster caliber player. I don't know that there's much that compares to him in this draft. We're at 20 right now. Of course, Philip Glass is a top 5 talent, Iowa tight end. We got to find a way to get him. It's not going to be in the first round. He's projected to go in round 2 or 3, but I'd like to get him. There's also a receiver that is a top 5 talent that is not pictured here that we might want to get in position to draft as well. So how do we manage to make that work? Oregon State playmaking wide receiver, of course. I think Chad Johnson. He's an intriguing player. Top 5 talent. maybe I would prefer a round 1 talent if they're a better athlete. I'm excited to see how this is going to go. I really don't know, but I know what we need. It's linebacker, it's corner, it's potentially safety. Skylar Benedict looks pretty good. We just don't really have the draft picks to draft everyone that I want. I know, unfortunate, right? JD Abear also looks quite good. But I do think that we're going to be able to get in position to draft a lot of these guys. It's just, can we move up to about 12 to get Trey Rainey? That's going to be the big question. Now, the other guys that flew at the combine are projected to go undrafted slots. And the first one looks pretty good in Devin Griggs from Texas Tech. Joey Wall, maybe not so much. But we need to get Trey Rainey. We'll see if he indeed does fall to 12. But a top 5 talent at corner is just exactly what we need to add to this team right now. How do I get up to 12? That'll be the question. We're at 20. I'd also like to keep that pick. So future picks could come into effect here. But at the end of the day, as long as I end up with 11 or 12 and then a pick at the top of the second round while keeping my other second round pick, that's going to be the big thing. So we're probably going to trade from 20 up if we can. See if the Vikings end up going with the corner. They don't. Meaning the corner we want is on the board at 12. It's just, we're going to see if we can make it happen. I don't think it's going to be too tough to trade up from 20 to 12. We have 44, 52, and 84. I want to keep both of the second round picks. I want to trade up. There's so many players in this class that I need to have on this team. It's going to be tough to make it happen. The receiver is probably not the biggest priority. Theo Johnson, we could potentially trade. And it's going to be Paulson Adebo. Cardinals looking for a corner. How about Paulson Adebo? He's 28, final year of his contract. We don't necessarily need him now that we're making a play for Trey Rainey. Really good trade for us. Trey Rainey is 6 years younger, and he's going to be maybe even better right now. Elite acceleration, change of direction, and speed. We talked about the skills. He's going to be amazing. Is he the number 1 player in the draft? We're about to find out. I think he's probably guaranteed to be top 2 or 3. He looks amazing. He is the number 1 player in the draft. Elite top-end speed, sticky in man coverage, good feel and IQ in zone coverage, 95 speed, 94 acceleration, 95 change of direction. Hook 'em horns. Longhorn legend Trey Rainey. There's a Rainey Street in Austin, too. So there you go. That's something. And that is an excellent first-round pick. Now, we'll see how the rest of this draft, or at least in the first round, plays out, because we might want to move up in round 2. I don't want to simulate straight to that pick. I want to see what the top of round 2 looks like. We'll see which players are still available, but we should potentially move up for a top 5 receiver. We should definitely draft a top 5 talent at tight end with one of those second round picks if they are available. We are in a rare position to get better with only 1 first round pick. Typically, I end up having a lot more than that in these Madden rebuilds, but not in this one, and it may not matter. The right players could just be available to us. We'll see if that ends up happening. Okay, the Panthers with number 32 just took a tight end out of Iowa, Philip Glass. That is the tight end that we wanted. So that was a big position of need, and he is now no longer available. So if I have to settle for a tight end out of Texas, Maurice Benjamin, that may not be the worst option. Yeah, we unfortunately did not get the top 5 talent at the position, and that's unfortunate. But Maurice Benjamin could still be a top 20 player or top 25 player. So that could still end up being a really, really solid pick for us. And now we have to decide here in round 2 if we want to trade up for Doug Cage. He is not the fastest wide receiver. Like, this is where you might prefer Javier Sharper. He's a deep threat, 5'10", 190. Catching's a bit of an issue, but you really can't teach that speed. He's got a spin move as well, which is kind of fun. I don't know. I'm kind of in the mindset of, hey, I just might take whichever one gets to us. Or if Cage goes off the board first, that's when we'll make the move for the other receiver. Top 5 means he's got the highest starting overall. I get that. But the other one could be better long term. So I think the game plan right now is see what happens and not necessarily force a move up. We're at 44. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to be happy with either one. Doug Cage goes to the Browns, and I think we probably need to move up with the Raiders because that's a speed team. Al Davis might be whispering from heaven to Mark Davis, get a haircut. But also, trade up for the fastest player in the draft. We've got to make a move up. We've got 44, and I know Al Davis is whispering, stop cutting your own hair. No, but also, it's like, draft Darius Hayward-Bay 2.0. We got to make the move. I know we already have fast return man at home in Xavier Gipson, but we got to make the move up. I'd give you 116 to make it happen. 44, 116, and a future 7 has moved us up to 35. A trade worth making. I'm okay losing out on the 4 if it means adding a burner in Iowa's Javier Sharper. We'll teach him to catch. He can get better at catching. He can't get better at being fast, really. He is the pick. He's actually a top 10 player. Number 8 in the draft. Got him at 35. And the theme of this draft is elite top-end speed. Soft, reliable hands. All-star contested catchability. Normal dev. 98 speed, 93 acceleration. I don't know what we're getting here. It's not a hidden dev player, unfortunately, but it might still be a very good player, as we will simulate to 52. And the current idea is that it would be the tight end. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but it just will be, unless Jarvis Hamilton is insane, which even if he was, no, we're not going to do that. Welcome Maurice Benjamin to the Giants. Hook 'em horns. Get your horns up in the chat, because I am horned up. Maurice Benjamin. Come on down. Number 38, we got him at 52. Former high school power forward, good speed for a tight end, strong, reliable hands to make contested catches. Hidden dev, 84 speed, 88 acceleration and agility, 77 strength. He's already wearing that blue. He knows the deal. He knows the drill. He is a New York Giant. I actually really want JD Abear here. Looks like a really good player, elite speed, elite jumping. Really good for day 3. However, this tackle, Andrew Ramirez, I feel like is also a good idea. 6'4", 311 out of TCU. B awareness, C impact block and pass block. B run block. Very good athlete. Elite acceleration and agility. Solid speed and strength. Could change the direction. A lead block. It's going to be good value. Andrew Ramirez is our pick. Whoa! He's ranked at number 305. We got him at 84. Excellent run blocker. Mental lapses are too frequent. Is he strong enough? The scouting report is not great. It just says bad pick, D. He's got a hidden dev. I didn't really look that bad. All right, we got to get the linebacker. Theo Johnson's a Bronco. We just drafted his replacement. He's in the final year of his deal. That came up quick, but we need a linebacker more than we need a backup tight end. Is that Jalen Waddle? Would have been a nice draft pick. J.D. Abear from Oklahoma is the move. The key ratings look about what they look like for the tackle, who was not even a top 300 player in the draft. For reference, there are about 255 or so picks, depending on the comp picks per year. But it's 256, 257, something like that. So hopefully J.D. Abear is a top 250 player. He can run. The block shed, zone coverage, awareness all look very good. Play rec's a bit more questionable, but this needs to be a good pick. I think he looks way better than the typical day 3 projected player, and he's actually a better pick than the spot. Ranked number 72, got him at 85. Shows good speed for a linebacker. Shows good technique on wrap-up tackles. Sideline to sideline pursuit. Hidden dev, 91 speed, 89 acceleration. This is a very solid pick. And we'll see if we can get a good player in the 6th. But we've killed day 1 and day 2 of the draft. Mostly. We're just not going to do better than this. It's a defensive tackle. Tony McCrary has elite acceleration and speed. A finesse move, C block shed. Another Georgia defensive tackle. Feel like he can't go wrong. He's actually the number 34 ranked player in the draft. We got him at 180. Typically, the speed rush types are actually not that good. This may be the exception. Normal dev, but 88 strength is very good. 78 speed, 85 acceleration. That is a solid backup. And this is what things look like. Trey Rainey is an 83 overall. Really good pickup. He looks good already with the double arm or shooting sleeves. He has 83 man, 78 zone. Press is a 77. He's well-rounded. He's a team player. We like that. Don't know really what those do, but something. Javier Sharper's a 77. Good third option for sure. Maurice Benjamin is a 74. He's going to be the starter. Obviously, Theo Johnson is gone now. Can't really block very much, but we're going to develop him. And he's wearing Jarrell Adams, number 89, so a lot to live up to. Andrew Ramirez is a 64. He doesn't look that bad to me. Just doesn't. I guess he's going to end up playing guard for us. Is he going to start as a rookie? If he has a good training camp, I could see it happening. If he somehow has superstar dev, that sure would be swell. He's up to a 66 overall. JD Abear is a 72 and looks pretty good for a 72. He is playing up to a 78, though, with morale. Loves being a Giant. Pursuit's up to an 88. Tackles up to an 88. Block shed's up to an 81. Play rec's up to a 78. I don't know what's going on with that. But it sure does look good. It's got to be the John Harbaugh effect. And then Tony McCrary is a 74 with 82 finesse moves. I mean, that is a pretty good value pick down the board, I would say. The rest of the draft, let's see. Matt Tomlinson, the number 2 pick, is an 82. The tight end Philip Glass is an 81. He is obviously better than the tight end we drafted. Show me Superstar X Factor. Give me something to legitimately be upset about. Yeah, okay. Well, if we got him, we wouldn't have drafted the receiver. Wow, we like him so much. I think that is a good pick for us. I mean, he's not too far off. We got a decent tight end anyway. I don't know, man. The other guy we're curious about is Doug Cage. He's a 79 overall. Here's the difference. This is another sub 90 speed wide receiver. He's a little bit better, like, agility-wise. But this is a pretty similar player to what we just drafted in Mario Torres last year. I'm pretty happy with the way the draft went. Yeah, getting that tight end would have been nice. Doug Cage, we knew was a top 5 player, but is he much better than the receiver we drafted? With the dev trait, maybe, but I'm pretty happy with what actually happened for us. I will see the dev trait for Doug Cage. I'm sure some of you at least are curious. Like, the overall is great. I'm not going to discount that. That's a pretty good starting overall. It's not in the 80s or anything, but it's pretty close. And he's got star dev. Would you rather have a star dev 89 speed wide receiver who's a 79 overall, or a 98 speed 77 overall wide receiver with -1 to dev trait? Give me Javier Sharper every time. There also is a pretty good kicker in this class. Philip Adcock. Not really much of a leg, but very accurate. Probably going to pass on that. But he is rated very highly. Dev trait increase for Sharper. He's got star dev right away. It was a hard decision between he and the tight end that we just drafted, of course. But in the end, I decided on Sharper because he had normal development, and he's not necessarily going to be starting right away. So I think his development could be a little bit tougher than the tight end. But I know he's also a higher starting overall. Maybe he has even a better chance to win Rookie of the Year if I were to play him in the slot. These are possibilities. And then defensive tackle or defensive line in general is a tough call. Could just get Thaddeus Corbett better, right? Or we could go DeMar Price because he got star dev and was a starter. Or we could go Tony McCrary, name is not Todd, and he could get up to star dev potentially. He's also fairly young, but I think DeMar Price is probably the right call. I think the price is right. And DeMar is going to be our choice, wearing big Damon Harrison's number 98. Who's another 98 for the Giants? This might be a bit of a throwback here. Did Fred Robbins wear 98? Does anyone here know Fred Robbins? Did. You know, I got another one. Demontre Moore, former A&M edge rusher the Giants drafted that never really seemed to figure it out. I hope both of those are right. Fred Robbins did wear number 98. I guess more people probably remember him than I thought. He was a starter with the Giants from 2004 to 2009, which is really like when I was getting into the Giants, 2004, 2005, 2006, and football in general. But no one talks about Fred Robbins, I guess. He had 5 sacks in 2004 and never posted more than 5.5 with the Giants. Got 6 with the Rams in 2010. Did win a Super Bowl, though, of course. You know, DeMontre Moore actually had a much longer career than I thought. 8 years, 2013 to 2020. Never got a start, though. Did wear 98 with the Giants. Dude, I was thinking about naming Jesse Armstead. Just wasn't super positive. Obviously, DJ Davidson now. I mentioned Damon Harrison. Matt Mitrione. Why is that name so familiar to me? Matt Mitrione. Oh, yeah. This was the UFC fighter. Did I not know he played with the Giants or didn't remember? He was offered a contract by the Giants. Well, he surely would have played if he's on Pro Football Reference. Yeah, he played 9 games, 8 tackles. Austin Johnson. Barry Cofield wore number 98 with the Giants. That's weird because he wore number 96 from 2006 to 2010. Another Giant I remember. I remember that whole mid-2000s Giants team, I guess. Now, he went to Washington after that and then came back to the Giants and wore number 98. Definitely did not remember that. This is going to be the team. Do we start Ramirez over Bo? He's certainly worse. We got him up to a 68 overall. I mean, it's not amazing. I think we're going to go with the star dev. Although, actually, I'm going to be done with John Runyon. Marcus Bowe, we're going to keep at guard, but shift him over to that left side. John Runyon is just 30 plus now. He's not getting better. I'd rather have Marcus Bowe. This is the way the offense looks. Very nice. Jackson Dart up to a 90. Cam Scatterbu not too far behind. Linebackers could look a whole lot worse, especially with our super talented edge rushers. Dexter Lawrence is down from Superstar X Factor at the start of this to star. And we didn't improve Trey Rainey. He's already good. Decided to focus on Javon Holland. Keep him at a super high overall at an 89 or so. Because it's going to be tough to get him to be upgraded anymore. He's 27 years old. We got another year maybe of development, and then it's going to be downhill. So got to keep him as good as possible for as long as possible. Thought training camp was a good way to go about that. This team is obviously far from perfect, but we were a playoff team last year, won 11 games. I can't guarantee that we're going to repeat that, but I feel fairly good about where the squad is. And if we made the playoffs again, it wouldn't shock me. A lot of players are improving. Obviously, there are holes, and there are players that I hope end up developing quite a bit because they're just not good enough right now. But we've got time to get better, and we're going to get better. Daniel Jones is a Steeler. That is very interesting. I usually simulate the first couple of weeks manually so I can set my regional focus scouting in week 3, and we are 2-0. Very, very nice. Corner is still going to be a position we heavily consider. Tackle maybe even as well, although we are developing that fairly well. And linebacker, also something I'm going to consider fairly heavily. So we could still draft a tackle. Corner is going to be in good shape. We have a first-round pick, of course, but it may not end up being that high in the draft because we are winning games, which I prefer. And we are 5-2 at the midseason mark. That's pretty good. Offense is great. Defense is performing quite well. Lost to the Eagles, though, so throughout the whole season. 20 players ready to negotiate extensions. We knew this was coming. We got $145 million in available cap room. I'd like to bring back at least the top 2. Outside of that, really not too worried about it, to be honest. Tyler Nubin, I'll consider it. Drew Phillips will consider. I mean, there are worse slots in the league, probably. Javon Holland, though, 3 years. That works for me. I might even be able to take this down a little bit. $15.5 million per year. Javon Holland wants a little bit more money. I don't really want to offer him a 4-year deal, though, because he's going to turn 28, and then I've got him for 28, 29, 30, and 31, which in real life I think would be mostly fine, especially at safety compared to corner where, instincts and, I would say knowledge of what you're facing is going to be more important than just pure athleticism, although it's still important. Dexter Lawrence, very expensive. The star dev's disappointing, but he's still going to be fairly good. I'm fine offering him a 3-year extension to stay a Giant, and Dexter Lawrence is still a Giant. Drew Phillips may be joining him. He's looking for close to $10 million per year. He does want to be here, but I'm not really interested in offering him what he's looking for. So we'll see on that. Nubin, I'm kind of interested in as a backup $5 million per year at least makes him an option as a starter. He's returning. Tyrone Tracy at the point where he's just not going to get better. He's not worth the contract extension. I like Tyrone Tracy. I really do. But just doesn't really make sense for us right now. Mason Dixon from Louisville. Does the Mason-Dixon line go right over Louisville? Hold on. This is absolutely ridiculous. Louisville, Kentucky's at the top of Kentucky. Somewhere around here. This guy is Mason Dixon. Okay, dude. Little on the nose, isn't it? I just tweeted that out. Twitter.com/Bengal YouTube if you want to see any more gems like that. I do sometimes see some really crazy names. Matt Capobianco. There's some type of joke with a Capobianco. It's a reference to something. I can't place it right now. So why am I even telling you? That's almost a decent question. Almost. I actually thought we choked and missed the playoffs. Nope. First round bye, 14-3, number 1 offense, number 3 defense. And we know the Giants simulate well. They're in the playoffs often in my other rebuilds. Jackson Dart throws for close to 4,000 yards, 48 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. This is an MVP caliber year. I mean, this is unbelievable. What a year for Dart. Scatterbo was great. 300 attempts. Close to 1,700 yards, 5.5 per carry, 12 touchdowns. Why is he fumbling so much? 4 fumbles for Scatterbo, playing up to 98 carrying. Cam, why are we putting the ball on the ground? Nearly 100 yards rushing per game. Great year for Javier Sharper. Nobody at 1,000 yards, by the way, but 3 receivers over 900. 12 touchdowns for Torres. Neighbors had 9. 14 for the rookie Sharper. Maurice Benjamin got very involved as well. Caught more balls than Sharper. 642 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then defensively, Thaddeus Corbett led the team in tackles with 127. 11 TFLs for Carter, 10 for Dexter Lawrence, who will probably go down in normal development after only 10.5 sacks. Ridiculous. Carter had 8, 12.5 for Burns, 5 for Darius Moussaou, playing actually a lot. And then interceptions, 2 for Corbett, Abear, Trey Rainey, and Cordell Flott, the rookies, putting in work for our team because almost nobody else is, so somebody had to, I guess. But a first-round bye, a defense that's playing great, even if the production doesn't look out of control. It's got a lot of good players making plays, and we'll face the Lions in the 2027 division round. I am excited. I am not that encouraged by the Lions overall. 88 overall. They're as good as we are, pretty much. They went 11-6. They only scored 20 points per game. We held offenses below that on the season. However, their defense is holding opposing offenses to fewer than 20 points per game, just barely. We are averaging 30 points per game. I'll be interested to see if we can keep this level of success. Not going to jump in the divisional. It's going to simulate to the next round and hope that we are finally a part of them, and we are. Facing the 12-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, home field advantage, East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. Well, you know what? It's one of the top 30 stadiums in the league. I think I would make that claim. It is raining, like exactly where I'd want to be. East Rutherford, New Jersey, northern New Jersey, in January in the rain. I moved to Texas for a reason. I abandoned my roots. Now I talk like this. It's not even, that almost sounded British for a second. Anyway. This could be a tough game. This could be a tough team. But I think we have what it takes to be a winner. Our offense is the best in the game. So let's go out and make some plays. We're down 7-0. We haven't scored through almost an entire half. Okay. Something's got to change, and change quick. We're down 10-0 into the fourth quarter. 0 points. Thomas Fidoni's in the game. I don't know who we go to for a quick score. That wasn't good. We need more speed out on the field. And it's a good thing we have Javier Sharper with 98 speed as a rookie. Get him in the game and send him down the field. Slot fade it is. Who can catch up with him? Actually, we beat him down the field, and it's underthrown. No, with the pressure. It's a touchdown. If Dart has half a second more to throw, you can say maybe the ball came out a tick late. That's a pretty huge miss. Put him on another slot fade. Maybe we get something going here. Ball comes out early this time. Javier Sharper down the field, dropped in the bucket by Dart. He is 75 yards passing. It's the fourth quarter. Oh my goodness, but this is why you take Javier Sharper. You jump into the game, you actually have really good speed. They can't match up with our third receiver. Dart stepping up to scramble, gets a block, jukes back inside. We know Jackson Dart doesn't slide. It's his first run of the game. Picks up 11. 4 minutes to go. Time is of the essence. I'm holding down Y. Hurry up would not happen. And we will look to throw to the flat. Ooh, good defense. 75 yards today. Do we not have a rush yard? Okay. We came out in jumbo. They are not respecting the fact that Malik Neighbors could get the ball here. Ball's out. Malik Neighbors, touchdown. So weird that the CPU does that. They come out in a specific goal line formation with no corner lined up against my receiver, and then they don't make any type of adjustment. So it's the easiest touchdown of my entire life. And we're going to jump in on defense. Dexter Lawrence with a sack. 2nd and 16. We've got a great pass rush. It's time for them to make an impact. Get Baker Mayfield on the ground. We have time. And Baker misses a wide open receiver. I really will say wide open. Tyler Newman has about 78 speed, so was really never going to be in position to make a play there. We got lucky. Check down, Baker. We're right there. Tackles made. We're going to call a timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning. Save 46 seconds. Time is not a factor, though. Matariza, punt god, into punt. Is this Sharper back to return? It is. He's got elite speed, and he's slipping. 2 minutes and 38 seconds, though. Jackson Dart takes the field. Touchdown wins the game. So it's whatever we want to do here. However we want to get down the field, we should be able to do it. Not really worried about the clock. If anything, we may want to be sure to take time off the clock so that the Bucs don't have a chance to answer in regulation. We may end up having to settle for 3 and force an overtime, but with this blocking on the edge, maybe not. Cam Scatteraboo rolling through Winfield. Tackle made by Benjamin to save even more yardage. That play will take us to the 2-minute timeout, or the 2-minute warning here. Getting too used to the college football terminology. But to the 2-minute warning. Not going to snap it. And with this position on the field, I think that 3 is all but guaranteed. I'm not going to say for sure, but all but guaranteed, right? So it's about not losing yards and still trying to score a touchdown. Scatteraboo up the middle. Nothing but space for Cam Scatteraboo. Scat going crazy on this drive. We needed it after literally nothing, it would appear, through the entire rest of the game. There's Scatteraboo again. Big power. Tampa's going to start calling timeouts. Or at least they should. So we're going to bring this down. Tampa probably gets the football back with, I don't know, 40 seconds as it stands right now. Probably something like 40. I'd like that to be a lot less. Scatteraboo with big power. He's actually dragged into the end zone. I mean, the way I look at it, they probably would have called a timeout anyway. So getting into the end zone, we maybe lose, you know, something in the neighborhood of like 5 or 6 seconds, maybe 6 or 7 seconds, kind of a toss-up, tough to know. Do I deserve to lose after that? No, I don't. We played well enough to come back. All Madden difficulty, making it look easy with this Giants team, of course. And now we just have to play defense for 40 seconds. If it hasn't come out already, I'm going to drop a Browns rebuild that is long. And there is a game in that video where we lose in pretty devastating fashion. It's not a spoiler because it's a long video, and that happens to me all the time anyway. So it's not really too much of a surprise. Good defense knocked that down at the line, either with a hand or an offensive lineman's helmet. Either way, that's a good job. We got to get pressure. 27 seconds, but my point being, this game is losable without a user pick. Easy reads. Green eggs and ham. Tampa can stop the clock 3 times, but easy reads from Corbett have maybe sent us to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 2011 season. He's got to take time off the clock. Cam Scatterbo, please don't fumble. Tampa calls a timeout. Scatterbo up to 9 yards a carry, but that first down should do it. They can only stop the clock 2 more times. We're going down. We're giving ourselves up. QB kneel to take us to the finish line. It's going to have to be 2 from Jackson Dart. Tampa's going to be annoying. Call their final timeout. I'm going to tell you, ooh, they're not. It won't be enough. The New York Giants, for the first time in nearly 2 decades, 15 plus years, are headed back to the Super Bowl. Todd Bowles still in Tampa, to his credit. Just a couple of fired coaches going at it. Jackson Dart, 86 yards passing. Don't worry about all that. We won. Giants, Chargers. Tell you what, the Giants may have had Justin Herbert at quarterback, but he chose to go back to Oregon. Ended up with the Chargers, playing behind a shit offensive line anyway. Or at least it was particularly bad this year. He didn't play well in the playoff game, but man, that O-line was abysmal the entire year. I like the Chargers to be pretty good next season when they get Joe Alt back and Rashawn Slater back for as long as he's going to stay healthy. But I also love the idea of them getting a new offensive coordinator. I think Brian Daboll, if he goes to the Chargers, that'd be a great, great pairing with Justin Herbert. A lot of superstar all over the place. Russell Clements did not have it. He wins Offensive Lineman of the Year, and he gains superstar dev. Jackson Dart, superstar. Cam Scatterbo, superstar. Sharper, superstar. For what I assume is winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yes. This team is starting to look extremely talented. Torres, of course, had superstar. John Runyon hopefully was not playing very much. We wanted to develop Andrew Ramirez. My depth chart seems to have changed slightly. We want Ramirez to play. We want it to be Bowen Ramirez, Clements on the inside. Hawkins is, morale's impacting this a lot. He's an 80 overall, playing up to an 85. And then defensively, Brian Burns down from X Factor to superstar ahead of the Super Bowl. Trey Rainey is up to superstar, or had it. He had it. Looking really, really good. Star or superstar cornerback out of Texas. It's like if Aaron Ross went well. It's hard for me not to think of a Texas player, or Texas corner being drafted by the Giants and not thinking Aaron Ross in 2007. I was ecstatic when the Giants drafted Aaron Ross as a young fan, and it really was never all that good with the Giants, unfortunately. The Chargers are an 84 overall to our 89. They don't even belong on the same field. Let's be real for a second here. Let's win a Super Bowl. Here we go, Giants. Don't screw this up. We're just not going to score again. There we go. There's a touchdown. 7-6 now after another Charger field goal. Into the third quarter, 12-7. Fourth quarter, time is flying. But there's no way Benjamin St. Juste is returning punts for us. How did that come about? Anyway, another situation here at the end of the game where we need to drive down the field, get points. There's a throw to Torres. Jackson Dart being held under 100 yards passing. Part of that is probably due to the quarter length that we're using. So I really wouldn't worry about that too much. Oh, they had a spy. Kerry Starks making the tackle. Must have been a player that they drafted. Name does not sound familiar to me. All right. Got to check down here. Cam Scatterbo wide open in the flat. Does not catch the ball with any type of momentum though. And those throws, I can never seem to get any type of momentum. I never am catching those in stride. The receiver or back or whoever it is always, it seems, has to make some type of stumble recovery after making the catch and can never actually get any yards. So the whole reason why I check down, try to get yards after the catch, now no longer a possibility. But we're passing the ball. Maybe we should be running the football. Maybe we should be running the ball. Christian Barmore, now with the Chargers, gets the sack. And 2nd and 15, we can't really run the ball. We got to go back to throwing. Tight end's wide open, though. Catch the ball in stride. Junior Colson on the tackle. Nearly traded for him. 1:20 on the clock. That's how much time we have to win the Super Bowl. And we're taking a shot down the field, just playing the speed matchup. Nearly caught off the tip. Saw man coverage, 98 speed. Thought we'd take advantage of it. And somehow, I have no idea how, but Nixon, maybe Keyshawn Nixon, can't even see him with the freaking raindrop. What the hell? Somehow, if you can see, gets in position and mirrors the route absolutely perfectly. Scadaboo was getting kind of open. Instead, it's a 4th and 9. We need to convert a 4th and 9 to not have our season end. And if they blitz here, we might be in trouble. Let's see if those backers drop or not, and they do. We're throwing it towards Cam Scadaboo. What a catch and a broken tackle. Nice throw from Dart. Oh my goodness. It saves the game. It saves the season. It saves our chance at a Super Bowl. Run the ball. There's Scadaboo. Gets a block from Neighbors, but can't find more than what he got, clearly. Run the ball again. This nose tackle looks gigantic. It's Christian Barmore. He is pretty big. There's Cam Scadaboo. Still fighting. And this is, again, where the Chargers, like the Bucks, should be looking to call a timeout here. It's not happening. We have timeouts. Scadaboo stumbled. Scadaboo stumbled. We got to call timeout. We let a lot of time go off the clock. I don't really think that's going to be a huge factor. What is factored there, or what could be a huge factor, is the slip and the trip. That's a huge potential mistake. Tight end's open. Got it to him. He made the catch. We're going to call a timeout. Only one remaining. Cannot afford a sack, really. I mean, I guess we could. We get timeout. We'd just be 4th and whatever, trying to score a touchdown. We need a touchdown to win the game. That's it. Fairly simple when you think about it like that. Who wants to get open? Oh, that's wide open. Absolutely wide open. Our first draft pick of the John Harbaugh era. Mario Torres scores the touchdown that puts us on top in the Super Bowl. 13-12. He was absolutely wide open. I was looking at the right side of the field, was looking at Neighbors, was looking at the tight end. But in the end, it made the most sense to go to the absolutely wide open Mario Torres, who just crushed press. It honestly looked like there was a bit of confusion here about who this bottom corner Nixon was going to cover, whether it was going to be Sharper or Torres. Kind of takes a step down, like he's going to play Sharper. I don't know if it was some type of match coverage, but then he ends up on Torres, and all he could do was run to chase him down. My only concern with throwing this ball kind of ended up having a mesh point with Neighbors. I'm like, is there any chance that Tarheeb still would make a play over the middle? I'm like, if Tarheeb still jumps up and picks this off, I'll be furious. Just didn't happen. Mario Torres touchdown. And all we need to do here is not throw a pick two. We're not going to. 7 seconds. They could still get into field goal range. Power squib is not something I've seen before. Don't want to risk a screwy kick here, but hopefully this is in the landing zone properly. And it will be. We don't want them to start on the 35. It's actually going to be much worse than that. It's going to be way, way, way worse. 1 second left. We tackle them at the 43. They're out of field goal range. I need to perfect the power squib because that was not it. Nearly a kickoff return touchdown, and then nearly into field goal range. Here's a shot down the field. We got so many defenders there. It's knocked down, incomplete. 13-12 is your final. The New York Giants, for the 5th time in franchise history, are Super Bowl champions. We're going to run it back. We're going to get another year. We're going to do it again. What a finish to this game. John Harbaugh is the first coach in the history of the NFL to win a Super Bowl as the head coach with 2 different teams. It has never happened before, or so I've been told a lot of times by Wheels, the Ravens fan we talked about earlier, saying that it's not going to happen for the Giants with John Harbaugh, and he is statistically probably very right. It's a very easy bet to make is the Giants don't win a Super Bowl with John Harbaugh, but maybe they do. He's dyed his hair blonde. He's having his midlife crisis a little bit closer to the end, I guess, but maybe a 3/4 life crisis. It's better than frosted tips, I'll tell you that. Full blonde for John Harbaugh. Otherwise, you know what? Looks kind of like him. We are Super Bowl champions. We are headed to 2028. And it's a John Harbaugh contract extension, which I suppose makes sense after winning the Super Bowl. We've got a lot of momentum. We've got a lot of players under contract. We have a lot of players getting better. I mean, we are really on track to build a dynasty here in northern New Jersey. Jonathan Allen and Tyreek Hill retire. Mike Evans retires. Glad to know that he didn't win a Super Bowl in the end because he would have had to go through us. Jackson Dart is Super Bowl MVP. John Harbaugh, Coach of the Year. And nothing to report for us, but we know we have Offensive Rookie of the Year for the NFC in the game. So I like to see that. Joe Thuney, who was the active leader in win percentage among all NFL players, has retired. Did not know Johnny Hecker was rocking double earrings, or is that hair stick? That might be hair sticking out the back. It's tough to say. He kind of looks like a punk rocker. Not sure. That made me sound old, calling somebody a punk rocker. Well, maybe I am now. Old enough to remember when the Giants, I don't even want to say we're good, but had a couple of good seasons in there. Going to pick up the 5th-year option on Abdul Carter and, of course, on Jackson Dart. $134 million in available cap room. We are bringing Javon Holland back one way or another. He's either re-signing or getting franchise tagged. And he's getting franchise tagged. It's going to cost $21 million. I'm okay with that. Drew Phillips is a fine slot option. I do harbor some resentment because he unfollowed me on Twitter. Probably because I was talking a ton of shit about the Giants. But hey, look in the fucking mirror. I'm not upset about it. It's just, it's a Twitter follow. Who cares? Why would I even bring it up? Tyrone Tracy, we're going to let walk. And we're going to let everybody walk, including Ben Sauls. I'm sorry. We need a corner. We need maybe an upgrade at safety over Tyler Nubin. We need really just any player we can add that makes us better. How about bringing back Xavier McKinney? There's a theory the Giants should not have let him walk. He was getting a lot of money. Well, he's going to get a lot of money from me. He wants to be a Giant again. The freaking Jets, dude. Fuck off. Patriots getting involved as well. Joe Alt would be a great pick. Cooper DeJean, Rashawn Gary, Nolan Smith, Dre Greenlaw, Tajay Spears. DeJean would be good, again, stealing him away from Philadelphia. We've got a lot of money right now. Cooper DeJean wants to be a Giant. I know he does. In real life, even. Probably not going to be able to get Joe Alt. But I don't know that Joe Alt is the biggest need for us. It would be an upgrade. No doubt about that. But we've got Hawkins. We've got Andrew Thomas. We're fine with Hawkins. What we need desperately is an upgrade on the interior of our offensive line. Maybe the draft is the way to go about that. Maybe it's not. Is this Corey Black, right? Brother of Longhorn legend Kobe Black that entered the portal and then said never mind, thankfully. Former 5-star. Hopefully he ends up being good. This is tough. I don't know that we're going to be able to get Xavier McKinney. John Simpson, I guess, is an upgrade. Elton Jenkins may be an upgrade. I don't think we're going to go out and sign any of these interior offensive linemen, though. Roger Rosengarten is potentially an option. I like the team. If we can just manage to upgrade at linebacker, which, hey, maybe Drew Tranquil or Dre Greenlaw for a year is not the worst idea. Not going to be terribly expensive and could come in and play right away. There's Tranquil. DeGene would be awesome. And then I really want McKinney. I want X back as a Giant. Can I offer him more money? Like, when in doubt, more money. We've offered him a lot of money. Kicker and punter we can find at some point, but this would be a huge upgrade to our defense if we can get 2 of 3. And we get McKinney and DeGene. DeGene could move back to play safety, but guess what? He can also stay at corner. Now we've got 3 good corners, could still draft one, and a huge upgrade at strong safety in Xavier McKinney. The contract is ridiculous. He simply had to accept. 6 years, $101 million for the 29-year-old safety. Don't worry about all that. We're trying to win another Super Bowl. You can't put a price on that. Make the right call, Dre Greenlaw. He didn't. So linebacker is something I probably will need to draft. Jalen Carlisle maybe. Zaire Franklin is like, hey, we have Bobby Okereke at home. Robert Spillane. Robert Spillane's a dog. Let's see if we can bring him in. Just a year. He probably should just outright accept that, and he does. See, this is the thing. Alfonso McElroy is a top 5 talent. He actually doesn't look all that good. Is this draft really bad outside of the top 5 talents? It may be. Now, Jose Cordova is a guard who's a top 5 talent. I've decided, I think when they're decent looking, scouting the interior offensive lineman to find out true talent is really important, because a run block could be very different. It could be 80, it could be 93. So finding out the true talent really tells you how worth drafting they are, and Jose Cordova out of Stanford is worth drafting. There is an Iowa tight end, Deontay McDougal. I'm going to say probably also worth drafting. Emmanuel Sierra, great athlete, worth drafting. The center, maybe not so much. But there are some really good players in here. We want linebacker, tight end, and interior offensive line. Those are the big takeaways about what we actually need. Everything else, not really all that concerned about it. But we absolutely need to upgrade those positions. Cooks, we have 80% scouted. How good is he actually? He's got A tackle, A hit power, B block. He looks pretty good, actually. All right, we'll add him to the list. And hopefully we're able to kill the draft. We have another season in here, maybe even 2 if it goes fast and goes well. I want to check out the final mock draft. That's going to really let us figure out what to do. So we're not going to be able to make a move up for the corner, Alfonso McElroy, and I don't really want to. I'm upset with how he spells Ryan. We're going to move on from that. A lot of talented corners. Maybe Edward Snowden's brother. Got those two confused for a second. Are we going to trade up with the damn Cardinals again? And then Deontay McDougal is a top 5 talent. We can't let the Eagles get him. Oh, boy. All right, that does complicate things slightly. Jamie Weiner and Jamie Person. Scotty Jowers is not going to be the guard we take. Is he good? He's got elite agility and elite strength. He actually does look quite good. I don't know why they think we're going to draft him at 32, but no. We're probably going to go all out to trade up. We are within our Super Bowl window. In fact, you know how I know? We just won one. So I'm probably going to make a move up in the draft. In fact, let me get the Jags on the phone right now We need left edge. We don't really. Could change a position, though. Give me 21. What do you want for it off the rip? Javon Holland? None of these things, actually. 64. We have 2/3. That could be a start. Okay, we can make something work here. 32, a second next year, and a fifth gets me 21. We will simulate to that pick. Ideally, everyone is still available, but there was going to be somebody at that spot. And I want 22 as well. Who's the biggest need here? Jose Cordova. Top 5 talent out of Stanford. A impact block, a run block, elite strength. Put up 44 reps at 225 at the combine and at his pro day. The guy can run block. We know that. He's the number 2 player in the draft. Got him at 21. Powerful strength. Shows good vision for incoming threats in pass protection. Stands ground when dealing with power moves. Hidden dev. 99 strength. I don't know if I've ever seen that. 83 acceleration. 70 speed's pretty good. That is an instant starter. And then I know, are we really going to trade to 22 to draft a backup tight end? He may not be a backup. He may be worth starting over Maurice Benjamin as a rookie. We have 3 great receivers. We could use the new young tight end. Not that Maurice Benjamin isn't young, but the newer other tight end at, at the starter position, and we're going to play 12 personnel anyway. I will give you a first-round pick plus more to make it happen. We are going for the Super Bowl again, and we're doing whatever it takes to make it happen. How about a first-round pick and a future 3 for 22? Give me the top 5 talent out of Iowa. Deontay McDougal, 6'5", 243, everything. Fast enough. The other tight end's a better athlete. The other tight end doesn't have everything. I'm going to say it out loud. There's going to be 20 minutes in the video. A, awareness. A, break tackle. A, catch in traffic. A, catching. A, deep route running. A, medium route running. A, pass block. A, run block. A, run block finesse. A, spectacular catch. A, stamina. Did I mention A, short route running? I might have missed it. A, stiff arm. And that A, awareness means he's going to just be a high overall anyway. The other tight end is not as high of an overall. And the route running is not as good, but is a freak athlete. Super, super fun player, just not as technically refined as Deontay McDougal, who will be my pick. Welcome to the New York Giants, Deontay McDougal, the number 4 player in the draft, NFL-ready pass catcher, former high school wide receiver, all-star contested catch ability. Got him at 22, 84 speed, 88 acceleration. You wish the speed was a bit more, but that's fine for a tight end, I suppose. Although with the speed of modern linebackers, maybe a bit less so. 85 changes direction. We know the attributes are insane. This was worth jumping the Eagles. If nothing else, we jump the Eagles for him. And maybe they go with Sierra. And we'll see if he ends up being a star. We also need linebacker. And J.C. Cooks is a round 1 talent. So, will he be available when I want, or when I'm up in the second round, as Miguel Diaz ends up being the pick for Philadelphia? Maybe not. So we may look to trade up again. There goes Brian Robinson, a Mike linebacker. And we do not want to let J.C. Cooks go anywhere else. So we've got to be very, very ready to make a move up. Matt Morris could also really run. Actually, quite a well-rounded player. Not a bad option. And then Colin Sheffield can also really run, but I prefer the round 1 talent of J.C. Cooks at 6'4" as well. And there goes Brian Cruz, another linebacker I liked. The linebackers are going off the board now. We need to be very aware of that. And we are, because I mentioned it. So I have to be aware of it. There goes the wiener. There goes J.C. Cooks at 36. I really was about to trade up. This complicates things. Because I was like clearly the best one available. We had the round 1 talent grade on him. And does Matt Morris look better than Colin Sheffield? He does not. He does not in any way. The other linebackers look solid, but unexceptional. I'm not trading up for them. J.C. Cooks, man. That was the guy. Dude, Emmanuel Sierra is still available. I draft him and play him at linebacker. 6'6", 250. Kind of a freak player. I'm going to see if I can acquire a stud linebacker via trade. That might be the way to go about it. Because we're playing 3 linebackers kind of a lot. I know we signed Spillane. I'm looking for a star. We have a second, no first-round pick next year, but we have another first to potentially move if we really want to go all out. And that's kind of what we're doing. 2 2s and a 4 gets me Barrett Carter from the Bengals. He's developed very nicely here in the game. He's got superstar development. He's actually playing up to an 88 now, but he's an 82. He's in the final year of his deal, so he's someone that I think, is tradable and obviously acquirable. He's going to end up playing for us. I like the dev trait. Everyone gets the linebacker buff. They come here and they're a crazy high overall. And the Bengals here with another pick at the back end of round 2. We are at 96 and 89 here. Was able to keep my 2 third-round selections. Emmanuel Sierra finally off the board at the top of the 3rd. And I could use a corner. Dwayne Hayes is a round 2 to 3 talent. Kind of an easy selection, unless somebody else ends up making slightly more sense, which nobody's really going to at this point. No reason to take another defensive tackle. There's not going to be any awesome safety available. Our offensive line, I would say, is fine. So that's really not something I'm going to heavily consider here. Yeah, it's just draft good depth at this point. Like, it's a receiver and a corner probably that I'm looking for. And I'm sure there's going to be a good slot receiver. Like, Dwayne Richardson's probably just, like, a round 1 talent for no reason. Ranked at number 35, got him at 89. Good 4th receiver. Normal dev, really great acceleration at 95. 93 agility, 93 change of direction, 90 speed's fine. He's going to catch the ball. He's not going to be anything but a slot receiver. That's fine. I don't need him to be anything else but a slot receiver. And then Dwayne Hayes is the pick. Better in man than zone. Ranked number 80, got him at 96. Speed's maybe not great, but that's a 92. 90 acceleration. Normal dev, unfortunately, but a fine selection at this pick. And then in the 6th, there was actually a gigantic blocking fullback with a run block and great speed. Let me draft a fullback. Bring back the way football was meant to be played. Ranked number 142, got him at 192. Played halfback in college, 78 speed. Prototypical lead blocker, 80 strength. 80, or he had a break tackle as well. And then we also have Mr. Irrelevant. No comp picks in Madden, so it's 224 and not the number that I gave you earlier of like 256. And it's probably just take the best player available, which actually may not be a defensive tackle. We do need a kicker and punter, though. I did not address that. Gabe Jackson does have A awareness, which is an overall booster. Maybe we find a really good punter in here. Yeah, Deshaun Thompson. That'll be our pickup. Ranked number 55. Got him at 224. Tremendous leg, 92 kick power, supposedly. We do need a kicker. We will find one. Not really too worried about it. Jose Cordova is an 81. 79 for Deontay McDougal. 74 for Dwayne Richardson. 72 for Dwayne Hayes. Emerson's a 68. 73 for Deshaun Thompson. Needed the Iowa punter, not the Iowa State punter. Not that I saw an Iowa punter in the draft. There was actually a better card than what we took. Stephen Hayden, 83 overall, 96 strength, 98 impact block, very well-rounded. How did I not notice him? I looked at guard as well. I just thought Cordova looked better. He can't pass protect at all. Does have 99 strength, though, and 84 run block. That was interesting. How did I miss him? Good tackle. There's the tight end. I mean, really wasn't that crazy of a draft. I thought McElroy would be around a 78, 77, 78. So he's right where I assumed he would be. J.C. Cooks was a 77 with 91 speed, 87 tackle, 85 hit power. 90 acceleration. That was the pick. I just didn't trade up quickly enough. That's it. Cam Little in free agency. But I'm signing Brandon Aubrey. He's got the same big leg, unbelievable accuracy. No brainer. And then let's just get Tajay Spears. That is my Tyrone Tracy replacement, who is also available. You know what? Let's bring him back too. Why not? Keep the band together. Kobe Durant would be 30 at this point. Max Melton only 26. Let's bring in Max Melton. Rutgers guy. Keep him in the state. Probably what maybe should have happened in the first place. And Deontay McDougal is an X factor. We know that because it says max security here. So that ends up being a pretty good pick. And that is a dev trait increase for Jackson Dart. He is now a superstar X factor. We are rolling as we get ready for what could be the final year, although I'm enjoying myself. How often do I get to actually use the Giants? It's rarer than it should be. In fact, maybe Madden 27 should be the return of Giants franchise. Tiki Barber with the lead block. You know who 87 reminds me of? Jaden Rhodes from my last... Oh, he dropped it. Great. Jaden Rhodes from my last Giants franchise. He was in the same draft class as what ended up being the star tight end, Nick Duval. But Jaden Rhodes was a decent option. Just was not on the same level of Nick Duval. If you've never seen my Giants franchise, you're going to be a little lost with these. But they're, make-believe creative players, similarly to Deontay McDougal. They're real to me, damn it. They're great players. Nick Duval, probably the second best tight end in any of my series history. Number one, of course, would be Derek Jordan from the creator. How do we not get the 400 there? From the creator Dynasty series. If you didn't see the Beaumont Bengals, it was. I don't know what I would say. I don't know if I want to say a ton of fun so much as it was something that happened. A lot of people enjoyed it. Maybe you would as well. This will be the team for 2028. McDougal needs to be the starter. As we know, he has superstar X factors up to an 88 overall. He just shouldn't really be dropping the ball. And he should be getting open a lot. These are things that stand out to me as good for a receiver of any type. And then defensively, wish the dev traits were a bit better. But DeJean and Rainey, really nice 1-2 punch at corner. Cordell Flott is a fine third. The interior defensive line looks pretty good. Wish Darius Alexander was slightly better, but that's okay. And specialist-wise, it looks pretty good. Might do actually a reset there. Might put Malik Neighbors in the slot to maximize his productivity. Or production, rather. It is a battle in the NFC East. Eagles 6-1. We are 5-1 at the midseason mark. There are players ready to negotiate contract extensions. We have $64 million in cap room. It's going to be tough to bring back a lot of these top guys. But I think we actually should be able to bring back at least Malik Neighbors. Probably to quite a big extension. He wants a little bit more money, which I think we should be able to come up on. Cam Scattaboo, fairly affordable. And he just wants more money, of course. Brian Burns, we may not be able to afford. So, we'll see what happens, but this is obviously a very good team. We're trying to repeat, go back-to-back here in the Super Bowl. Is there anybody that can actually make this team better right now? I should ask the cat for feedback with all the input she's been giving, or they are giving. Don't want to misgender the cat. No, it is a girl. She, not it. Maybe an upgrade over Darius Alexander. Kind of the one thing I could look at. I moved McCrary to the edge because he was athletic enough to do it. Obviously, Barrett Carter is in that Sam linebacker spot. I would say, maybe an interior defensive lineman to go all out. Cordova's got superstar dev. The team obviously looks very, very good. We still have a couple of first-round picks in the future, but I'm just going to hold on to those because I don't want to just completely go insanely unrealistic and just, whoa, there's not going to be a 2029. Why would I care about those picks? There's not going to be a 2030. I want the team to still be like in decent shape if we were to simulate to 2040 even, right? So I don't want to be absolutely insane. We're going to simulate to the playoffs here. I'd be shocked if we were not in them. Hopefully a first-round bye in store. And indeed, it is a first-round bye. 15-2. Did we beat the Eagles twice? So on that final week, it was a murder. 24-20, and then we upped the ante. 45-31. That's a lot of points to allow, but that's also a lot of points to score. As Jackson Dart's touchdowns went way down, probably because Cam Scatterbo picked them up, if I had to bet. 31 touchdowns to 4 picks, that was great. Close to 4,000 yards. Cam Scatterbo, close to 1,700 yards, just 7 away. 5.5 per carry, 20 touchdowns. Fumbled twice, and about 100 yards per game. Very, very nice. Receiving, Malik Neighbors, 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. Mario Torres, close to 1,000 yards, only 2 touchdowns. And then Javier Sharper did not produce a ton. His production really just went to Malik Neighbors. But we were better overall, so I'll take it. Defensively, 109 tackles for J.D. Abear. Thaddeus Corbett, very near. 10 TFLs for Dexter Lawrence, only 4.5 sacks. All the sacks were going to Brian Burns with 17.5 and 14 for Abdul Carter. Price had 5. Corbett had 5. All out producing Lawrence. As Thaddeus Corbett also had 3 picks. This is Defensive Player of the Year type stuff, although the TFLs are quite low. 3 picks for McKinney, welcome back. 2 for DeJean and Flott. How close are we to Defensive Player of the Year? That is what I'm curious about. Brian Burns at 5, Abdul Carter at 9, so not really a lot of love for the linebacker. And 5th best linebacker in the NFC? That is underrating the ability as we are simulating to the division round of the NFL playoffs. And here in the divisional, it's the Green Bay Packers, a team that, in my opinion, the Giants have historically owned in the playoffs, going through Lambeau twice in 2007 and 2011 to win Super Bowls, and then did lose to the Packers in the 2016 season. What will happen in 2028? Do we get our revenge? Yes. 30-25, and it's the Falcons. Giants have also had some playoff games against Atlanta. Did they in 2011? You know, they may have. Yeah, they did. 24-2. I don't really remember this game very much at all. But Eli got sacked. He got penalized for intentional grounding in the end zone. And those were the only Falcons points of the game. January 8th of 2012, of course, the 2011 season. And we're going to simulate and see if we can make the Super Bowl for a second straight season. Hopefully that is the case. +0 XP does not seem good. But we did win, and it's a rematch against the Patriots. And this is a great opportunity to talk about this because, man, people think when I pick against the Patriots it's because I don't like the Patriots. Dude, I love the Patriots. I think the Patriots fans think that there's some sort of rivalry here. There isn't. The Giants have played the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. They've beat them both times. I get that there's a New York-Boston rivalry. I guess Foxborough is close enough to Boston, Massachusetts. But there's, I guess, a New York-New England type of rivalry. I don't dislike the Patriots at all. I don't care about them. I know they had a great dynasty. I don't hate Tom Brady. I don't hate the Patriots. I wasn't like, man, I wish somebody else would win. I was happy enough that the Giants got 2 Super Bowls in general. I don't think there's any rivalry here. And like always, because it's a Super Bowl, here in one of my rebuilds, I'll give you some Giants and Patriots players because there's actually a decent bit of crossover, and it's really easy for me to do my favorite team here. Let's see. Shane Vereen is a good start. Danny Shelton is a sneaky one I use on Immaculate Grid when I do that. Danny Shelton's a good one. Logan Ryan. Martellus Bennett. Giants, Patriots. I feel like there's another running back, but it's currently eluding me. Giants running back, Patriots after Shane Vereen. Who are you? Dion Lewis. Oh, why could I not remember Dion Lewis? I had to look it up at this point. Lil Jordan Humphrey, of course. I mean, there are a lot of players. Too many to name. Jermaine Illuminor even was a Patriot. Actually forgot about that. Jakob Johnson is a sneaky one, but I remember him well. Raiders as well. And Texans even, I believe, too. Patriots out to an early lead, trying to go at least 1 for 3 in the Super Bowl against the Giants, and it looks like they might. It's 14-9, though, as Drake May is trying to drive the Patriots down the field. We need a stop. 1st and 10, 5 minutes to go. Man, these quarters are too short in Sim. We got to make a play. Big hit! No! Just a regular tackle. We need to keep these timeouts, though. But a lot of time's going to go off the clock before that happens. We need a turnover. Turnover would be great. I was expecting a run. Didn't happen. Shot to the end zone. It's just in front of the end zone and caught by Kayshon Boutte. I needed that to be a pick. Big hit. Could consider a timeout here, but time is going to go off the clock anyway. The bottom line is we cannot allow a Patriots touchdown. 21-9 would be a lot to come back from. It's a sick tackle. 3rd and goal on the 1. Inside 3 minutes, we're going to have to run commit down. The line's being pinched. It's just got to be a run here. We got to stop it. They brought a fullback in. QB sneak touchdown. It was not ready for it. Okay. We saved our timeouts. Ideally, we score prior to the 2-minute warning. Okay, the tight end is flying down the field. Cannot make the catch, though. Ran into another zone, unfortunately. But we can make something happen. I mean, we have incredible speed. All it takes is Sharper to beat press. Like, that really is it. If Sharper can beat press and we can just get the ball down the field to him, we actually have it on the other side. Throw it up to Mario Torres. He makes the catch. He doesn't have the speed to turn that into a touchdown. Please hurry back to the line. Please get back to the line. I mean, there's not really a reason to not just run streaks here. It's the strength of our team. They're going to press Torres, which is a mistake. He beats press. He's got good release. He does it again. Dart to the end zone. Touchdown, Mario Torres. This is a Super Bowl receiver. Touchdown to win the last one. And a touchdown here to keep us in it. And I know it looks like it's too easy. I promise you. It's all Madden Sim. The Patriots are being stupid. If they're going to press their corners and play man coverage in this spot, guess what I'm going to do? Streak the receiver. We need to score quickly. And get in the end zone. Going to run the ball. Cam Scattaboo. 2-point is good. Why would we do that? Because if the Patriots kick a field goal, it's 24-17. Touchdown, and the extra point ties it. We don't necessarily need to onside kick here. In fact, maybe it's better if we don't. We would just need a 3 and out. So let's force a return and go make a tackle. 2:07 to play. We can stop the clock 4 times. 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts. That's good kick coverage. We just need to tackle. Henderson's got so much speed. 2nd and inches may actually be worse than a first down there. Now we desperately need a tackle for loss. I mean, desperately. We're going to run commit to the right. Bring Javon Holland up. It's a run. It is a first down. We got to call a timeout. Not looking good. We kind of needed to allow the first down there, as crazy as that sounds. We can stop the clock one more time. Run up the middle. Man, the speed is just insane from Travion Henderson. We cannot stop the clock again. I'm going to choose the play here. We're going to go with an over front. And I'm expecting a run. If they throw it, they can have it, pretty much. And they're going to. They can have it. Not that there's much of a choice. Patriots get their Super Bowl revenge. And that is how this one comes to an end. Wish we had better run defense there. Probably on me. But we did get a Super Bowl. And unfortunately, we have to end the video watching the confetti come down in Patriots-Giants. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.